I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Welcome back to the Quarter Mile Podcast. Here we are in between Season 2 and Season 3. This is Part 2 of a 3-part filler episode. We're just doing random stuff. Last week we talked about Mark Wahlberg on an online episode, and next week CJ will tell you more about that at the end of the episode, which, by the way, I'm here as always with my hostess with the mostest, CJ Walton. What's up, CJ?
I'm so excited.
Welcome
I'm so
here.
Happy. I'm here. We're here.
We're here.
We're back together.
We're back together. It's been too long.
And we look good.
We do. We look good. We're representing D&D Fitness Apparel, their spring collection. I guess, is it a collection of its fitness?
I think you have on the winter collection. I think I got on the spring collection because this is purple. It's lavender. It's giving calmness. It's giving love. It's soft.
It's soft.
It is so soft.
We love D&D. If you don't know who D&D is, it's D&D Fitness Apparel. They're a Memphis-based startup brand. They help you reclaim your space with gymwear that does all the talking for you. Check them out online, or especially for my Nashville people, May 30th, they are going to be at the Music City Fit Expo. Speaking of cool looking things, I got my guns out with my sleeveless shirt, with the D&D, it looks like I could work out, or we're going to get a lot of views because people are like, I spot Bigfoot, there's that hairy thing on that podcast again. We're going to, but I'm not the only one looking like Vin Diesel. Tonight, we have an amazing guest for you, and he's brought the Vin Diesel shades.
He did.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Renard Hirsch. Renard, how are we doing today?
Doing really good, and just here to protect my family.
Yes, there we go.
Oh, God,
I'm looking forward to blowing some stuff up.
Yeah.
I hate everything about you, sir. I hate everything about you.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing, man? I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invite, man. I guess we just realized that we were fans of the franchise.
Yeah. We both are diehard fans of Fast and Furious, and then at one point in one of the comedy shows or open mics or whatever, we finally sat down and had a conversation and realized how collectively we were geeks about it too. So I was like, well, you have to come on our podcast.
Yeah.
So listen, before we get into it, Renard, tell us a little bit about yourself, but then also the question everyone always wants to know, the reason people tune into this podcast is they want to know, what's your relationship with the Fast and Furious?
Okay, all right. So my name is Renard Hirsch. I am a stripper here in the Nashville area.
Yep.
So anybody looking to book me.
He goes by light, bright wine.
What? Only the lightest and the brightest. Okay, so so I'm a comic here, based out of Nashville, wonderful Nashville, Tennessee. So right here in the Valley of the South, in the land of golden sunshine.
That makes it sound so cool. That's the most elegant way to describe Nashville ever. The land of golden sunshine.
That's part of our alma mater. Me and CJ went to TSU, so that's we all had to learn the alma mater our freshman year.
And that's another thing I would say. We have more family connections in this. CJ and Renard both went to college together.
We did.
This connection is deeper than Vin Diesel, Ludacris, and Tyrese.
No, I've been his.
This is a new version.
Yeah, I've been to one of your family reunions, if I'm not mistaken.
Out there, I'm sure. Shout out, I'm sure would.
Yo.
I'll take an invite for the next family.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. We have a good time.
That was a good time.
You'll have a great time.
Perfect. The purpose of this episode is we're doing another Fast fan feedback where we got a wonderful person, and we're just talking about Fast and Furious, because you never can talk enough about Fast and Furious on the Quarter Mile Podcast. And I'm so glad to have Renard here. He mentioned he's a comedian. I feel like he was downplaying it. We've had a lot of comedians on our show, and I like all of them. But as far as enjoying content, Renard's one of my favorites in top Nashville comics, in my opinion, which is correct. But
that's true. Yeah. That's what I want the crowd to have. I want the crowd to have some fun and just relax and just have a good laugh and go home happy.
I love that, and it's so evident in your routines when you're performing. It's just we're just here to have a good time.
Yeah. That's what life is about. Life is life can be short, so it's like you want to just enjoy it and pass some enjoyment on to some others. So
good Lord, he just summed up our podcast, CJ. Yeah, that's we're just here having a good time.
All right, we're done. All right, thanks guys for watching.
We're here having a good time, a quarter mile at a time.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're all about. So tell us about your relationship with Fast and Furious.
My relationship with Fast and Furious. So I saw. Of course, they started rolling them out, earlier. I guess we didn't know it was going to be a franchise at the time.
Right.
We were just like, okay, it looks like a good action movie with fast cars and bravado and everything. So I was a Vin Diesel fan, because I watched him in Chronicles of Riddick and. I think was that after? I can't remember.
No, that was before.
I think
Chronicles of Riddick was before.
One or two of them came before.
Okay.
And then.
I'm trying to think. What did he do before Fast and Furious? Did we know him before?
He had some smaller.
He had smaller, yeah. But, but I could have sworn. That's what I'm saying. I could have sworn Chronicles of Riddick was the introduction to us.
I think he had one before Fast and Furious, and that's kind of what started putting him. That kind of was maybe his breakout role.
You're right. Let me look that up.
And then because what happened was one of the reasons he turned down Too Fast, Too Furious was he was doing another one of the Riddick movies.
Okay.
And then one of the reasons he decided to do a cameo in Tokyo Drift was because it got him the rights to be a director, not just in Fast and Furious, but in the Riddick series too. And that was what he actually cared about.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, that was the one that didn't do as well.
Yeah, this was a bigger franchise.
Really? He was in Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, I think that was his big first time.
That was it.
And was he in the Pacifier? Was it one movie?
It was Pacifier.
Pacifier came out after a lot of the Fast and Furious.
Okay.
So, but that's a funny role.
Okay. I don't know. I think it just spoke to me when I saw the previews or whatever. Like, oh, that looks good. And so now to the point where I just whenever they drop one, I go to the movies to see it. And I got to see it on the big screen. And
of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess one of my favorite things is people come down on them about the stunts being ridiculous and all that stuff. But to me, I mean, that's great. I like the fact that they just raise the bar every movie and do something more ridiculous that you thought couldn't happen.
If you could put in any celebrity into the Fast and Furious universe, who would it be? And if you could come up with a role for them, what would it be?
I mean, for me, it's Nia Long, but that's just because I love Nia Long. And I love to see her in anything.
Yeah, obviously. I thought that one without saying.
Let's see, who would be good?
Who would be a good?
I think Morris Chestnut. I can see him maybe coming into, or Michael Ealy.
I can see Michael Ealy.
Let's see, we already had John Cena. He was a good one. Charlize Theron. She was a good surprise. That I was like, oh, okay. I
you know who I wouldn't mind seeing?
Who's that?
LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. He's got the CSI background. He can do it.
I think he could do it.
I think he'd be great.
Scott Bakula. Shout out to my quantum leapers and NCIS New Orleans.
Scott Bakula, baby. Okay.
We said Keanu Reeves earlier. I can see him being
definitely. Yeah, he'd be like my number one.
You know what I really want to see, because I feel like he'd have a cool role in it. Like, we need a Samuel L. Jackson. We need he could. I don't know, like someone to out tough Vin Diesel, so to speak.
It would be Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan.
Ooh, all right, yeah.
Okay.
I think he'd be good.
What about Killmonger?
Isn't that Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, it's Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, that is. Other dude. Who was other dude?
Chadwick.
No, Chadwick.
M'Baku.
Yeah.
Him. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Winston Duke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I am so sorry because you were an amazing actor and I just could not think of your sexy name at the time. I'm so sorry.
Because he's got the bill for it.
He's right, and I really feel like he could come in and just take over. You know who? And oh God, he just left my head. Oh, why did that just happen? Well, feed me peanuts and call me Dumbo. Hold on, it's gonna come back. Y'all keep talking.
That might be one of my new favorite quotes on this podcast. And I will say the one to beat those when we had to read a bad movie review for Redline, and the review was simply full frontal nudity couldn't save this film.
Oh, yeah.
So now I think, and right under that, feed me peanuts. These are T-shirt ideas. I think.
I was trying to think of what's his name.
Man, I could see Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I can see him.
Yeah.
My boy, that's my boy. I'm trying to think of his name.
Him and Vin Diesel could have a musical number together.
Yeah, or Sylvester Stallone could come in as somebody's dad.
Well, I think they need they need to eventually introduce Vin Diesel's or Dominic Toretto's mother. So any like older woman celebrity could be Julia Roberts. I don't know.
That would be cool to see Julia Roberts do it.
This would be so not the kind of movie.
Because because they get, I don't know, like that.
Wait, you can't have Julia Roberts as Vin Diesel's mom. Ain't Vin Diesel black?
Vin Diesel's everything.
I mean, mixed up now, I think.
Vin Diesel has a documentary about how he can play any part.
Oh yeah, he could be.
I mean, he can be anything, but I could have sworn like, hey, he black.
Yeah, but this is a movie. You can make it up. He can be. His mom can be white. His dad can be.
Well, if that's the case, then Julia Roberts is going to be my mama.
There we go.
The hell? What up, Julia?
Bryan Cranston.
Oh gosh. Villain.
Yeah.
He would be a fantastic villain.
Yeah, because he adds so much weight to any role he does. This is like.
Oh my god, he would be fantastic.
Like as a villain or anything, like I can see him doing pretty good.
This is the easy version of the question, but if you want, you can do the harder version.
Yeah, look at me.
Easy one is what's your favorite movie and why? Which of the Fast movies?
Movie?
If you want to take it a step further for extra credit.
Okay.
Oh, Most Def.
Oh, we talked about it. We had a viral reel about him.
We did, but I would love to see him in the Fast and Furious.
I would love to see him as the character from the Italian Job.
Yes.
And then I'd love to connect the movie.
Yes.
That's what they need to do.
I was like, it is somebody who could do like the Italian Job or something.
Yeah, he could do the Italian Job.
Most Def good. He has good range.
Yeah, he would be great.
He has good range. Okay, now I'm sorry.
Okay,
it was good.
Cool. And CJ, you're more than welcome to answer this question too, because like I said, we haven't talked to you a lot about actual Fast and Furious. But so I'm wondering, favorite movies, which one stands out to you as the best Fast and Furious and why? And if you feel comfortable ranking or maybe giving us top 3, you're more than welcome to do that as well.
All right. I think my favorite one. I think my favorite one was the one where they were trying to retrieve God's eye.
Yeah. So that was 7. That was 7.
Okay.
The first one with Jason Statham in it.
Okay, yeah. That was one. That was one where like Vin Diesel tried to punch Jason Statham and he missed and punched the car and kept fighting and didn't break anything.
He's Vin Diesel. He doesn't get injured. The last time Vin Diesel sustained any kind of injury in Fast and Furious was Fast 4.
Was that the one where he fell off that they blew that parking garage up and he landed and then he had to talk to him and bring him back to life?
That was 7. That was 7.
Oh, that's okay.
That was the end of the movie.
Which one are you talking about?
In 4, he gets shot and then he takes out about 1,000 other people, and then later in the movie they're like, "Oh, we should take care of an injury." And after that, you never see Vin Diesel get injured ever again.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah,
but that scene you're talking about, the way he concludes his fight with Jason Statham is he stomps on the ground and concrete. These are real words that are leaving my mouth.
Oh man, hey, those are some serious steel-toe boots that he has, all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you get those boots, you can do the same thing.
Yeah, and then he says, "Sometimes the street wins." That's his line.
No, did I miss that?
That's in 7.
That's perfectly on brand.
Because earlier in the movie, he's like, "You brought a gun to a street fight," and then he's like, "Problem with street fights is sometimes the street wins." And that's the kind of dialogue I'd go to.
100%. What was the one where?
Jesus. Did I watch 7? I don't think I watched 7.
My guy runs.
That's my favorite one. You gotta check it out. It's the which ones are the ones they run in a lot of.
The one where Paul Walker runs up the train while he's falling off the mountain.
Oh,
that's also 7.
That's 7.
That's also 7. Yeah.
Okay, so 7 is obviously my favorite one.
Best one. It's my favorite one. But what's
because it should go 1, 7. What 1, 7, 3?
Are you talking about rankings? That's not my personal ranking, but 1 and 3 are. A lot of people like those ones the best too.
Yeah.
I like the one where they sent Ludacris into outer space.
Yeah, that one was just fun. That's the one where a lot of people say like that's when it got too far for me. But like that's when they
that's great.
Everything about it is just fan service.
It topped the other, like
Yeah.
just when you thought some stuff couldn't happen, it happens.
Yeah.
They fought and stole cars everywhere.
Yeah.
They've been on ice. They've been in the desert.
They have.
They've been in the
The
air.
only thing they have not done is been in water.
No, well, unless no, they really haven't done.
They haven't done a water.
They need like an underwater
where they
street race.
But no, they need a yacht
where they
race.
steal cars from
Yeah.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring because Aquaman was the bad guy.
Yeah,
the dead one. So it turns out they combine those movies.
Yeah.
That's
So
what they
they're both in
have
the same
not done.
universe.
Closest they came, but they have room to improve. In Too Fast, Too Furious, the big stunt of that one. It's funny because we were talking about in 9, their big stunt was going to space. Back when they were more grounded in Too Fast, Too Furious, their big stunt was driving a car off a ramp onto a yacht.
Okay. That was Tyrese and them. Okay.
Right before that, another great Fast and Furious line, Tyrese was like, "Ejecto Cedo," and that was
Left the franchise.
He hasn't. He's still there.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah.
Because so once he got there, he stayed.
He
right?
stuck around.
He
Yeah.
never left, I don't think,
But you know what?
But you had some guys, like Han. I think Han, like he left for a little
Han
bit.
left. Well, he
Han
died. Quote unquote died.
Yeah.
3 times in this series.
He's been in a lot of the series too.
Yeah. He was in 1 through 6. He was not in 7 and came back in 9 and 10.
Yeah, like he's RoboCop at this point. Like
What's really funny is I don't know if you guys have ever listened to like interviews with that actor Sung Kang, but like this role has like been so defining for him as a person. Like he feels like he embodies Han for the audience. It's like I just connect to this character so much that like when people see me, like I'm gonna be Han because that's what they need. Is what it, like he said that in interviews. Like it's a big deal for him.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's incredible though. Like when you get a character like that, and it's like, you know, a cool character too. So it's like, you know,
that's my goal.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, like I heard like George Costanza didn't like to be. I'll call George Costanza. What's his name?
What is his name? I know exactly, but and he's huge. But like,
Jason Alexander, I think it is.
What did it say?
Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but they said like I don't know if he's still like this, but I'm sure he probably is. But they said he didn't like when people called him George Costanza in public because that wasn't who he was. And I guess
Chris Rock said the same thing. He hated being called Pookie. Taraji Henson does not like to be called Cookie.
No, well, that's fair.
she said that she like at TSU when she came to TSU.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, when she did the golf movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I
get where people are coming from with that. I can't even imagine, but I can also like try to imagine. But part of me thinks like if you did a role that was so impactful for people that when they see you, that's the first thing they do is they call you your character's name. I think that's like kind of cool.
Yeah.
I also think it could be not a good thing because one of my friends he does some acting as well, and in one of the movies he was like this like serial killer. It's really and he said that like after it like aired, like literally he had memories of people driving up and seeing him and just speeding off really quickly because they were thinking of the scary.
I can see that.
Like, so I guess if you're not a good character in a movie, maybe that's not good to people. But
I think characters like that, I think that's just a testament to how good you were in the role.
Right,
and people just connected to like Cookie Lyons, but I mean she did a great job on the role. It was a good show, so. I mean, I guess it's tough, I know because some actors try to, you want to have another identity away from the character.
Yeah.
Like you think about like a Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
So.
And
he pushed away that one so much. Yeah, right.
I mean, but it's like pigeonholed him, and to the point where no one knows him, no one knows Jaleel White, but as Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
I know probably one actor who maybe didn't have to deal with that, and that could be Denzel, because he embodies every role, but he detaches himself. He was Malcolm X, but nobody ever walked up to him and said that. Then he was also what's his name, the gangster. Then he
Frank Lucas.
Then he also played the other dude in
Remember the Titans.
Then Training Day. Then I mean every movie that.
But you know what? I don't think Denzel's a guy you just gonna catch out like that.
No.
You're not gonna be able to you're not gonna see Denzel in the grocery.
And you know who you gonna say, hey, Mr. Jackson to is Samuel.
Yeah,
that's who you are gonna say.
So you know what? But Sam seems like somebody who'd be more accessible, like because he's just one of those people. You know? He probably wants to be amongst the people.
He's been in so many good better movies than this, but like I'd always wanted to see more of him in the Star Wars franchise. Like, what a cool character, Mace Windu, and like. Yeah. We could have used a Mace Windu movies.
Yeah.
Come on, Disney Plus. You're freaking out.
Oh, yeah. We got all these other branch offs.
Yeah.
That's the least you could do.
If you could end the franchise any way you wanted, like if you had to, I mean, it's going to be a dark day, but they have to end the movies eventually. How would we close out the series?
Yeah, because 11 is coming out.
Yeah. Or they're calling it Part.
Yeah, Part 2.
Fast X Part 2.
Fast X Part. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I just thought it was going to go 11, but I don't know how would you do it?
I mean, if it was up to me, it would never.
Yeah.
What do you say, 25?
Man, I would love for, maybe like, you come, I don't know, maybe there's some world disaster.
Yeah.
But some kind of way, Dominic Toretto is able to save his family in a bunker, and Paul Walker's there, like he never died. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole anybody who's ever in the franchise that was part of his family. They like Paul Walker's been there for 10 years getting his place ready.
No, I've said this before on this podcast. Here's the perfect ending to the Fast and Furious would be because they've always one up their stunts, and at some point they're gonna be like, I mean, like, how do you top space? I'm sure they'll figure it out, but at some point they're gonna be like, well, how do you top time travel? How do you top, like they recreate? I don't know. At some point, the big stunt is gonna be they faked his death in real life. Yeah. And he comes back. He really not Cody Walker. Yeah. Paul Walker comes back in the movie. Okay. That would put Fast and Furious down in movie history.
Have they gone against nature?
No, they haven't done
that. If like a bunch of tornadoes and I'll say that like Armageddon.
Yeah, they could literally have someone be like
the day after tomorrow, like half the earth places freezes and the rest of the place catches on fire.
Yeah, no, they haven't done anything. They gotta deal with it.
Yeah, that would be.
Bring in Captain Planet to join the
Oh man, he'd bring him into the franchise.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a good thing.
Hey, let's go all out. It's the last one.
I think like a natural disaster. Maybe the bad guy has
fictional people into this.
And I mean, obviously crossover with any series would be great. After I saw like the second Jurassic World, where like it ends with all the dinosaurs getting out in New York City or whatever, I was like, it's time for Dom to get the family together and go round up these dinosaurs. That's the movie, you know.
Oh wow, they could do it.
I think time travel would be cool.
Oh that'd be nice.
They go back in time, save Jesse from the first movie.
Ooh,
or the only death that lasted in the series.
Or we could get like a couple prequels. You know, like we get the backstory to Tyrese. Yeah. Or the backstory.
Do we need the backstory?
We have a young Dom series, like they did for The Rock, you know.
And they had that guy who played young Dom in Fast.
With the car, the dad died, or whatever.
I felt like he did a real good job. Like that would. But I've thought about this before. We do need a young Tyrese, a young Roman series, and it goes back and it's following the friendship between Brian O'Connor and Roman, because that's set up for the second Fast and Furious. But there's a line in maybe Fast 5 or 6 or 7 where and this is the only reason I'd want to watch a prequel about this character is Roman says something, and then Paul Walker's character is like, it's kind of like in high school with no knees Denise. I don't think you can say no to anyone. And we never hear about no knees Denise again in the entire series.
Well, why did she have me? Okay.
And
did Paul get him locked up? Like when they first met? Remember they got to a fight because he was racing cars. And they got to a fight so they saw each other.
It was one of those, they were very ambiguous about it in the movie, so they never explained it, but that could be the plot of the movie. That could be part of it. But at the end, you're kind of led to believe that Paul Walker's character wasn't the exact cause. But because Roman's like, I have to start taking responsibility for my own actions. It's kind of like his character development. But it also sounds like Brian was like a little like was remorseful and thought he could have done more.
Oh.
And then it also see that's the first two Fast and Furious movies together. That's when you see great character development for Paul Walker's character.
Yeah.
Because this thing happens with Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto, where he lets him go and then quits his cop job and like rethinks all of his ethics and all that. And then you realize in the second movie, the reason he was so much like that to Vin Diesel was because of whatever happened with Tyrese Gibson. Like that played into why he, had a second change of heart.
Yeah.
So, I'm telling you, these movies, they make you think they're not putting good plots together. But the writers know how to write.
Yeah.
They just write in their style.
They do.
Yeah. Small fun fact. One of my good friends is Coffee Jones, and he's a member of the Grits rap group, and they had their song "Ooh Ah" was in part 3.
Yeah,
it was in Tokyo Grits. So shout out to the Grits.
I used to listen to the Grits all the time. They were like the youth group.
Yeah.
And you're right. Every time I hear that in Tokyo Drift, I'm like, yeah.
Okay, Nashville.
The Nashville connection right there to the.
Does he have opinions? Does he like Fast and Furious? Does he have good things to say about like that time frame in his life?
I think he was just happy that they got the movie, the song in the movie, and so I was like, I need to go deeper in on it.
Yeah, because I've been
what his
wanting to get
relationship is with the movies actually.
I've been wanting to get like celebrities from the actual franchise. This
Coffee's
podcast.
a cool guy.
That's cool. Have you also met Coffee?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can probably get him on the podcast.
Yeah, let's get him on the podcast and see what his opinions are about Fast and Furious.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll reach out.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll have my people will reach out to his people.
Yeah. Thank you for all your people. Is there anything in this series that you were just like, that's too far, that's stupid, I'm not cool with that?
No.
What, Fast and Furious? Not really. No.
Yeah, I was always on board. Because I was like, I'm here for the journey. I was like, whatever, just get creative. Just keep my attention. Blow up a bunch of stuff.
I like stuff.
Oh, that was the other, like when was it Letty came flying through the air?
Oh yeah, he caught her with a car.
Caught her with a
Which became a universal thing in Fast and Furious. Literally, okay. So like when people listening to this know this about me. Anytime a new movie comes out, I marathon all the movies to get myself into the universe to be ready for whatever the next movie is. And so like usually in the first 4 or whatever, you're like, oh, that's a pretty unbelievable. Cars can't do that. Yeah. But then I literally this last watch through, and at a point in like 8 or 9 when they caught someone with a car, the words left my mouth. Thank God there was a car there. I was like,
I mean, even like when he was in Dubai, and then he decides to bust through the glass and then land in another building.
Oh yeah.
I did like that.
Yeah, I remember. I like that. That was cool.
I think they brought Ronda Rousey in for that one.
Yes, that was insane.
Yeah, she was a good character there.
I didn't realize that was her until like maybe 2 minutes. I was like, that show looked like it is Ronda.
Yeah, that was her,
That's another fun thing is they just bring. I don't know if it's like Vin Diesel or someone has like such a cool phone contact list where they're like,
because they always got somebody good. Some good. Was it Ja Rule?
Yeah, he was in the very first one.
He was in the very first one.
Oh yeah.
So fun fact, he was supposed. They expressed interest in him that they wanted him to be the king, like the. Instead of Tyrese Gibson, Ja Rule was the first pick for the second Fast and Furious.
That makes sense.
Well, that's after Vin Diesel. Because he was in the first one, he had that like iconic Monica line, and he was a street racer. And Ja Rule was like, "No, this is dumb. I don't want to." But Tyrese was like, "This is gonna skyrocket my career," and he bought like really expensive rims for his like real cars because he spent so much money in having that role. Just because he's like, this is gonna make it for me. And I guess it kind of did. Like I guess he's not wrong. It did put.
I mean, hey, anytime you can get into a franchise.
Well, before we move on, I have one more question I want to ask you guys. That's not Fast and Furious related, but in case you're listening to this episode and you're thinking to yourself, man, I really want more Fast and Furious content. That's all I live for in life is to listen to podcasts about Fast and Furious. I have 2 options for you. One, go back to our earlier season 1. Well, we literally covered every single movie. We also have a few of the adjacent movies that we covered in season 2, and we'd love for you to check out any of those. Literally, at this point, anything you can think of Fast and Furious related, we have done an episode on it. Whether it's the 10 movies, whether it's Hobbs and Shaw, whether it's the turbocharged prequel, whether it's Los Bandoleros, and weirder stuff than that. And we've covered it, so it's there. But if honestly, that one has been killing it on our.
Really?
It is just become like our 3rd or 4th most watched episode.
Nice.
That's like topping like ones that have been around for like way longer. Anyway, but But if you're like, I want to hear Fast and Furious,
Yeah,
but
yes.
I don't want these American accents, I would prefer, I don't know, more of like a British accent, I got you covered too, as well. I recently, in my Fast and Furious studies, actually, here's what happens. I was bragging. I was like, yeah, I have the best Fast and Furious themed movie rewatch podcast ever, thinking no one else does. And then someone's like, actually, I just heard some comedians from England who just started a Fast and Furious podcast. And I was like, oh, they better not. But then I went and I listened to it. And it was really good.
Yeah,
so it's called Me Fast, You Furious. And the hosts are two comedians, Paul McDaniel and Mara Joy. And it's pretty new, so like you can catch it on the ground floor. They're going through the movies right now. At this point, when this episode airs, they'll probably be through most of the movies unless they do two-parters. But just really super cool guys. I told them I'd give them a shout out on my podcast. They're going to give us a shout out on their podcast.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we're just living our life a quarter mile at a time, all of us. And so, you know, check them out, and they're and I'll have their handles on the episode notes if you want to like just click it or whatever. But on Instagram, if you type Me Fast You Furious Pod,
that'll be fun.
That sounds like in certain other website if you type that and brings up other things. But
make sure you type that.
Yeah, and Instagram.
Looks upsetting.
Yeah. But you know, it was a lot of fun. I listened to their episode on Furious 7 because that's my favorite one. And
what part of are they English? Like,
yeah, they're English, so like London maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything. The more I try to answer that question, the more obvious it will be that I don't know anything about geography. They're from the part with land.
You know what? Never mind.
So here's the question I wanted to ask. So as we said earlier in this episode, CJ and Renard have known each other since college, which was just like 2 or 3 years ago. We're all very young here. And I just wanted to know if either of you had, for the other person, like a question or something. The title of this segment is like something I've always wanted to know. If there's like any kind of, we don't rarely we get to just sit down and chat, and here we are. So is there any random story, question, lingering, whatever you're wondering about? Maybe something dumb they did in college. Maybe some random funny thing you've always been wondering about. Maybe at one point, Renard had a really ridiculous outfit, and you're like, "What was the deal?" With that? Or maybe
that never.
Why did you walk through the sub?
Yeah, they're like, or maybe at one point, CJ, you know, lost a limb, but now she has all of them, and you're like, "What? How did that happen?" So anything like that. So
it's so hard because when you know how like I hate when people, and me and my guy talked about this. I hate when people say like men and women can't be friends. Because there's always going to be something sexual or something like that. I can't say that with this man because when I did try to holler at him, he totally dissed me. So
wow. Okay.
No, but he's.
That's the question. Why did you tell him?
No, but he's honestly been one of my best friends. Like since we met. Like I guess the only question is, how come you ain't tell me Miss Lamarck was as crazy as she was before I got up there? You know what I'm saying? It's a school question. It ain't got nothing to do with girls because
who's Miss Lamarck?
Was our teacher.
Oh, okay.
She was our professor.
Yeah, that is your duty as an elderly.
See, I have a different relationship with Miss Lamarck. Miss Lamarck.
She was trying to holler at him. That's what it was. Right?
Yeah,
she was trying to get it. Just admit it.
She saved me. Like I was in college, not learning anything. I was real upset with my college experience. I was like, ain't nobody gonna hire me when I get up out of here. I was like, I haven't learned nothing. And so I took her acting class, and I really didn't know all that great in that class. You know, I didn't put in major effort like I should have. And she saw me like in like one of the dean's office one day, and so we were talking, and she's like, "Yeah, what are you doing this summer?" I'm like, "Nothing, and just working." And so she's like, "Hey, we're doing this play. Why don't you come out? We may have a role open for you." So then that got me into the theater. Yeah, and then I started working with Barry Scott and them, and then then at that point, they brought me into that world. It was something I attached to, and I was like, man, I can see myself doing this. I fell in love with the process of just starting with words on the paper and then bringing a world together. You know, and I was fortunate because, you know, we had a professional theater company in residency at the school, so it was like we got to learn as professionals or whatever. So she was.
I never knew that.
Yeah, so she was. I took some classes from her after that.
He's like, and then after that, she tried to get with me.
Nah, she never tried to get with me, but she was but she like we always had a good relationship. You know, we would
She hated me.
What was your problem, CJ? Maybe it was you. Maybe it wasn't her.
No, she just. I at that time didn't realize that excuses were tools of the incompetent, which build monuments to nothing, and those who specialize in excuses seldom succeed at anything else.
Oh my lord, that was powerful.
and a mouthful.
That's going to be our T-shirt too. After full front side this movie, and then on the back excuses.
Because I was 17 when I got to college.
Yeah.
So
wow, that's young.
Yeah. So I was 17, so I really couldn't do a lot, and so by the time I got to Lamarck. A, I didn't have a car, and B, I didn't realize that, like, when she was asking us to go downtown and study and do stuff, I didn't know how to take the bus, so she was my first F.
Oh, ooh.
She was my first. Yeah, Miss Lamarck was my first F, and my mother came up, and I don't know why, but I'm like, I'm not in high school. My mother came up there and whooped my, what, like she told me, and so that's when I started.
I had started doing theater when you got there.
No.
I think you were. You came like a year behind me. Okay, yeah. So I didn't start doing theater till the summer after my sophomore year.
Okay, and see, I came in straight doing theater. My first semester. My first semester, I got into Showstoppers. That's how I got my scholarship. Was from Miss Diana K. Poe, and. That's how I got mine. So I was, whereas you was under Lamarck, I was heavily under C. Wiz mama. You know C. Wiz just crossed?
I saw the picture of the boots.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what that meant. I thought he was just sitting aside to the queue. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, when we say cross, are we mean like...
He's a Q now. He's an Omega.
Oh, okay. It could have been like cross the rainbow bridge.
Oh my God, no.
I'm like, I don't know how to how should I feel?
He just pledged into eternity.
He's added some letters to the end of his name.
He's
LGBTQ.
I was like, what? Maybe like you just crossed the
But I will say this. I will say that when me and Renard became friends, and I think we had our first study session at your house, like his mom was just, I think that's really the reason we became friends, because his mom was just like, baby. She was I don't know.
Yeah, just worked out.
It really has.
We had to work on the scene.
We had to work on the scene.
Oh yeah.
And I've been wearing him ever since.
But I guess I had a question I wanted to know. So we did, we were in Dr. James' class.
No, hold on. Let me
I think it was a script writing class.
Okay, yeah.
And we had the improv in front of the class.
Okay.
So we're in the car driving.
Okay.
And we're going interacting with each other.
Because I don't care for him, but keep going.
And then at one point. I realized I'm like, but like she's following me, like everything I do, she's right there with me. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not backing down. And then at one point, I'm like the day it goes crazy, and then I just shoot myself, and then shoot myself in the head, and I just die over in the thing.
In the scene, ladies and
gentlemen. Yeah, in the scene.
Not a ghost.
So then, what does she do? She pulls out a gun, kills herself.
Right.
So now we're both sitting there dead on the pavement, and
I learned.
And the teacher is like, oh.
Right.
Okay,
because see, I learned
what made you go along so well?
Okay, because you're not supposed to say no, but I forgot we were improv and it was script writing.
No, but it wasn't script. Like we were improv.
You supposed to go along.
Yeah, yes and.
Yes and. Yeah, you can't be like.
Yes and I'll kill myself.
And all right, yes and. So boom. So that's the reason.
Yeah, I was like, what can I do to top this?
No.
Fast and Furious style. How can I top all the other crazy stuff we've done in this scene?
Absolutely. The professor that he's talking about honestly made me, whereas you went through something in college, I tried to drop out because of Dr. James.
Yeah.
I tried to drop out of college because of him. He gave me hell. He
was my guy. I don't know. It was like he was one of those guys. Like either he liked you, either he loved you, or he hated you.
Yeah. But you know who was my guy? Idoye.
Idoye was cool.
Idoye was my guy. Shout out to Patrick Idoye.
Yeah, he's from Nigeria. He would come in. Like he was a hard talking African.
He was a hard.
Today we will talk about the modernity of Ghana. And And then you have soft talking Africans. You know, they come in like there's another guy, Dr. Oyinjaka.
Oyinjaka.
Yeah, he would come into the class and he would be like, "Hey, good morning, class. Please come on in. If anyone has seen CJ, tell them to please come by my office. I have some papers I need to give to them. Thank you so much."
I love Dr. Oyinjaka. He was the first man to ever. That's how I didn't realize I was actually attractive until Dr. Idoye was like, if you can bleep, I hope you can do that.
That got weird.
The girl that got when she got to college, everybody was like, "Who is that?"
Whatever, you always want to tell that story. Anyway.
Wait, are we talking about every college one was looking at the 17-year-old?
They didn't know.
Okay, just so we're tracking.
We were 18.
We were 18, yeah. Okay. But no, Dr. Idoye, the very first time I met him, he was like, "What is your name?" I was like, "Chandra." "You look like the mother Oluchi." I was like, "Who?" "Oluchi." I was like, "Okay. Where are you from?" "I'm Chattanooga." "You go down and buy me belt." "I'm buying you what?"
What?
He was like, "You ever heard of Coach?" "Yeah." You know, and he was talking about this is a shopping center in Chattanooga.
Oh yeah.
The warehouse.
Yeah.
He was like, "You buy me that, and I give you good grade." I was like,
All right.
"Okay." I can't. Okay.
Did you get the man his belt?
No, but I got a good grade.
Okay, that's good.
At least got a belt.
Nah, he wasn't getting that out of me.
Of the unrealistic things professors have asked for.
He said, "You get me belt."
I feel like a belt is like.
I have never forgot that story.
Oh yeah, I know. But see, had you got the belt, you wouldn't even had to come to class after that.
Yeah,
I like this.
Because you're like, "Hey, I fulfilled my end of the garden.
I like this class.
You know what's so interesting about? And we'll wrap up with this. I'm listening to you guys talk about either the same professors or different professors. It's so interesting, and all of us have been in education where we can talk about this.
Yeah.
You know, you have your style of doing things, and it's pretty. It should be the same kind of with all the different students that you have.
Yeah.
But some really gravitate towards it and grow from it, and some just, they're like, "Wow, what's this person's deal?" Like, like it's just so interesting how you can do the same thing or be the same person, and it impacts people in different ways.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why they say the cheesy phrases like, "Oh, it takes a village," because some people it's gonna, when I was a youth pastor, that's one of the main things I did was I built a team because I knew not every kid's gonna connect with me, but maybe they go connect with someone else.
Yeah.
So that was.
I definitely think that's what Tennessee State does and is still doing, especially in our department. I know when we were there, I really felt like I had a family, especially in the communications department.
Before we close up shop here, first of all, Renard, thank you so much for being on this podcast.
Oh,
we love having you. We'll see if you want to review another one of the movies we got going on later.
Oh, we should ask your friend, the guy that you were having.
Oh yeah. See, we get him up here.
We'll get his information. We'd love to have him.
He seems nice.
Yeah, he seems like he's in a band that I liked when I grew up.
He was really nice he's really cool. I enjoyed being around his friends.
Renard, is there anything you'd like to plug while you're here?
Man, okay, we got we're starting we do have a residency like coming up at Zany starting Father's Day in June, so we'll be there once a month after that. So anybody y'all come check that out, hit me up. I have a few free tickets, so anybody want free tickets, inbox me. I may have a few. So
where can they inbox you at?
You go to on all social medias, Renard Comedy, RENARD Comedy, Renard Hirsch on Facebook, and www.renardcomedy.com. So I know a lot of people couldn't spell Hirsch, so I was like, make it Renard Comedy.
That works.
Make it easy for everybody. So
this is the man who got me in the comedy.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
So, yeah.
Follow Renard. On Twitch. We'll have it all on all of our things. We follow D&D Fitness and go buy all their clothing, and you'll look as good as CJ. Maybe you'll look better than me. I got my Vin Diesel Yeti.
I gotta get this belly together.
Follow the Fast You Furious podcast, and while you're doing the following us at the Quarter Mile podcast. Also, shout out to CJ, who still hasn't seen our Twix yet. I know by the time this episode airs, it will be past 420, but it's not there yet for us. So she's killing it, and we're nearing when she'll be able to eat it.
Is this a 420 Twix?
Yeah, I gave up.
It's infused.
No, I wish.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna stick around a little bit.
No, I gave up
refined sugars and bread
for Lent. And
Okay.
you know, Lynn is 420.
Okay, so you said it here to taunt you.
Yeah, it's literally it's in there. I feel like I've created a connection with that. By 421, it's still here. I'm gonna eat it. Well, you had your chance.
Yes, you get the left one, I get the right one, whichever one.
It's fair game after that.
Ooh, I'm a both. I've never just eaten one side.
Oh, okay. What are you? Are you a left or right Twix?
Nah, they're both Twix to me.
Yeah.
I just eat whichever.
It has to be. You have to know what side you eat first.
Okay, so I probably eat the left one first.
Okay, I eat left first.
Before we close out, tell us what's going on next week, CJ.
We will be discussing a new weird, stupid, bad movie, and I'm getting into this, so I want you guys to get into it with me. I want to start reviewing really bad movies. So this first one that we're gonna do is a very bad movie, and I want you guys to stick around. I know y'all like, are you serious? But yes, I'm very serious about this. And then we're gonna be getting into our action movie series, so I'm really excited about that. So make sure you follow us on all the ways. We on TikTok. Are we on X? On Twitter?
Don't. I've stopped doing that.
Good. Yay. No more on us. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok. I am at your girl CJ Walton.
Drew Davis Comedy.
Make sure you're living your life a quarter mile at a time.
Wow. Now let me get in my 10-second car and get it.
Right. Let me look at 10 seconds.